The Mississippi Link is an African-American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, Keepers of the Knowledge for People Who Speak the Truth, since 1993. Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippilink.com and click on Home Delivery.
Good afternoon. I want to thank you once again for joining us here at We Believe digital podcast. And my name is Dennis Ayers, and I am the owner of Ayers Insurance Group and also the host of this show. And one thing that we've been talking about this week, we have made it crystal clear the importance of healthcare. And one thing that we have talked about is we've talked about the rising costs in healthcare. One thing yesterday we talked a lot about being diabetic, the cost of insured diabetic care compared to the cost of uninsured diabetic care. Well, today we're going to continue down that pathway, and we have a wonderful great guest with us here this afternoon, and that is Dr. Joseph White. And he is a licensed physician that's been practicing well over 40 years. And you started your career here in Jackson, Mississippi, didn't you, Dr. White?
I did. Right. I finished my residency in Detroit, Michigan at Henry Ford Hospital. Spent a year in general surgery and another 3 years in internal medicine. I went to school under the National Health Service Corps scholarship, and I owe them 2 years in an underserved area, and that's what landed me here in Jackson. I worked at Jackson Hines for 2 years to pay that time back, and I'm still here. I never left. And that was I finished that in 1991. Yeah.
Well, that goes to show you that there are some wonderful people here in the state of Mississippi, and everything's come full circle. Once again, because Dr. White, and we're going to talk about this a little later on, Dr. White has rekindled that relationship with Jackson Hines in a powerful way that's going to help the community here in the Jackson area. You have extensive knowledge on what quality health care looks like, and also health care unanswered health care look like. And what we've been talking to, and what we've been, especially to the audience, we've been pushing the narrative of getting the annual wellness exam. I've explained to them that if you have Medicare, if you have group insurance, or if you have an individual policy with ACA or one of the other companies, that's embedded in there. It's called the annual wellness exam. Explain to us exactly what that is and the importance of getting that.
Well, wellness, it is pretty much what the word says it is, and that is an effort to keep you well. As it relates to how insurance companies will pay, reimburse, and incentivize people to get their annual physical examinations, get the screening test that goes along with those annuals, blood sugar check, cholesterol, prostate antigens, and even now we're looking a lot more at vitamin D levels. Breast examinations and mammograms. And after a certain age, depending on what reference sources a particular physician group is using, it could be 50 years old, some 45 years old in terms of colonoscopies. Most use the standard of 50, unless there's a family history of colon cancer, and then it should be at an earlier age than at 50. And the same is true for breast cancer, breast examinations and mammograms. They should start around 40, but that may vary depending on the individual's family history.
Okay, great. Well, we're encouraging you to join the conversation, and you can call us here at on air at 1-800 492-5186. That's 1-800 492-5186. And we're also on Roku TV. Follow us on Facebook. Hit the like button. And we're on YouTube, and subscribe to the We Believe Digital Podcast. And we're also at WeBelieveDigitalPodcast.com. And we're all in all those formats. You can also find me at Ayers Insurance Group at DennisAyers.org. Reach out to me. I'd be glad to answer your questions. Doesn't matter. You just just reach out and make contact with me, and I'll be glad to answer those questions. Also, my Facebook page is Dennis Ayers Healthcare Senior Healthcare Advisor. Press like and send out a friend request and be a part of the discussion. Just go on and be a part of the discussion. We have about 30 more minutes. So please give us a call. And be a part of this. Some of the disadvantages. We talked about this yesterday, that over 300,000 people are not covered with health care here in the state of Mississippi. And the state of Mississippi did not expand Medicaid. But there are some things that you can still do, even though you don't have insurance. We are going to talk about a resource that can get you the care that you need. Preventative care is so important because really you don't have to look any further than your family to have an indication if high blood pressure is running rampant, or diabetes running rampant, or cancer running rampant in your family. That should be an indication within itself that you may want to see a doctor. Am I correct?
Yes, that's a huge part of it. Genetics versus environmental are generally the two major factors that will predict disease patterns in a person's lives. You can't change your genetics. Your mama and your daddy, they are who they are. You can't change your family history, and yet it weighs powerfully. No, having said that, I will also add the environmental part or the behavioral part on that you can control. You can control what you eat and how you rest, the water you drink, how you exercise, the type of food you eat. So you have a whole lot of control over whether you get a certain type of cancer or whether you get heart disease manifested in your life. You don't have full control. You have a lot of control over it. And it doesn't cost you anything to make behavioral changes in lifestyle. So lifestyle changes is a potent part of the cocktail that will determine whether you end up with a life-threatening disease or a disease that just diminishes the quality of your life. Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. And like I said, if you have group coverage, if you have an individual policy, that's what they call credible coverage through ACA or a private health insurance company, or if you have Medicare. These annual wellness exams are afforded to you at zero cost because it's far cheaper medically wise, not only for the medical system itself, but also you as an individual to catch these things early. It's a lot easier to be proactive compared to reactive. So if you have high blood pressure or you're pre-diabetic and it's caught before it becomes an issue, a major issue, then that's a lot easier to control, and you can go on and have a normal lifestyle. Am I correct?
Right. And even if you didn't catch it before it manifested, it's going to be less of a problem for you if you do some of these lifestyle changes that I mentioned. But the advantage of the annual physical examination is that it gives you an opportunity to catch what you might not have known was happening inside of your body. Because most of these diseases are silent in the way they start. I recall it used to be on the television, the commercial about hypertension, and they call it the silent killer. And it is silent. By the time you manifest symptoms with hypertension, you're in bad shape. If you start having a headache based on the fact that your blood pressure is out of control, it's going to probably be close to 200 systolic. Now you're getting close to stroke level. Or brain damage, or kidney damage, or heart failure damage, kind of things. So if you become symptomatic, the point is, it's like it's been out of control too long, and it may have been out of control because you just didn't know it was present. And hence, again, circling back around to the point of preventive exams annually. And the same is true for diabetes, the same thing. You may not know that you're pre-diabetic or how badly your sugar is out of control. If you don't check it, you don't know it until you start losing your sight, or again, losing your kidneys, or getting neuropathy in your feet, or any of the other a number of complications from diabetes, uncontrolled diabetes. And the same, you can pick the disease and you get the same pattern. Cancer, you don't want to have blood, be passing blood as the first sign that you have cancer. By then, it may be totally advanced and metastasized, or at the very least, more advanced than it would have been if you had gotten your colonoscopy earlier, and they could have caught it when it was in the stage of just a little polyp.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, y'all, let's join in on the conversation. You can reach us at 1-800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. Again, you can join us on Roku TV, on Facebook, YouTube, and WeBelieveDigital.com. And this is the We Believe Digital podcast. So we're going to continue this discussion, but we want to hear from you. Because there are quite a few out there that are listening to this program, knowing that you should be able to see a doctor, and you should. We live in America, and we have some of the most advanced health care in the nation, although it's not free. But there are some things that you can put in place to help preserve a quality of life, even if there are some issues that you're dealing with. Call, let's talk about that at the 1-800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. And what we're going to do here in the next 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to do some things, because what I've done is I've seen the heart of Dr. Joseph White. He's also a licensed minister here in the West Jackson area. And he has a heart not only for the Jackson, Mississippi area, although he is not a native Jackson, but he never left. So God has a plan for him here in Jackson, Mississippi. So we're going to expose what his heart looks like here today. And he is partnered with some folks that will help provide health care for those that simply don't have any. So give us a call at 1-800 492-5186. In the next 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to talk about that and how you can be a part of that also. He's also in his ministry. He does have what do you call that? A health talk.
Yeah, health and wellness ministry.
Okay.
I don't know if you're going.
What we're going to do is in about a minute and a half, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to go into that and what you've pulled together for the community here. So, but we want you to give us a call here, and you can check us out at Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and We Believe Digital.com. So don't go away. We will. We're not going anywhere. We still have another 15 minutes that we're going to talk about this. And check out my my talk show this evening at 90.1 WMPR from 5:30 to 6, and it's also Health and Habits, and it will carry over. A lot of the information that we provide here on We Believe Digital podcast will carry on to the talk show, where you can call in locally or nationally. So give us a call right now at 1-800-492-5186. You can also view us on Roku TV, Facebook, YouTube, and We Believe Digital. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
SocratesGarrettENT.com is a diversified firm specializing in recycled aggregates and crushed concrete. SocratesGarrettENT.com's recycled materials provide the construction industry with significant economic and environmental benefits by recycling clean concrete rubble into M.DOT grade rock materials. Recycled aggregates and crushed concrete can be applied to driveways, road construction, bank protection, parking lots, general bulk fills, and more. For more information, please call 601-896-0084 or visit us online at SocratesGarrettENT.com.
Do you have something to say? Do you want your voice heard? Join the We Believe Global lineup. Be the star of your own show. For more info, call 800-492-5186, option number 1, or visit online at webelieve.global.
Okay, we are back, and we just want to thank you for joining us. And we are joined in, we're having a conversation concerning healthcare and annual wellness exams. And you can join in on the talk at 1-800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. And we have a guest with us today, and that is Dr. Joseph White, who's also a licensed ordained minister. And his church is over at 328 Bowling Street, and that's the Restoration Community Church, which has become an anchor in that West Jackson community. And he's constantly reaching out to that community that's surrounding the church. But, you know, what people don't understand is you have a physical component, but there is also a spiritual component to quality health care. Am I correct, Dr. White?
Yes, right. And that's a good way to put it. And that we, from the very beginning, have said as part of our mission is that we want to minister to the whole person. That is the spiritual man, the spiritual person, the soul, the mind, will, and emotion, the physical pertaining to their bodies. And in addition to that, we want to be able to help people understand their financial health, everything that pertains to life and godliness, everything that pertains to living a life in victory. We want to contribute to that in ways that God enables us to. And yes, that does pertain to health. And that's been my life experience, my adult life experience is studying the sciences and studying medicine and practicing medicine. Church has been in existence now for going on 11 years, and we've been in the West Jackson for going on 8 years. And so that's a part of my experience, and that's what I have to give, the Word of God and some practical information as to how to live healthy physically.
Okay, well, we got we had said earlier that you had back in 1993, up until 1993, you worked at Jackson Hines Comprehensive Health. 91.
Yeah.
And that relationship has been rekindled. Tell us a little bit about that and how that's going to further and assist in the community.
Yes, it opened, an opportunity was recently opened that, and I won't go into the details how, but it was recently opened that Jackson Hines may have some interest in partnering with us. So we scheduled a meeting with the CEO, Dr. Jasmine Chapman, whom I remember from back in the day. And it was a beautiful meeting. It was a kind of a homecoming type meeting, and her entire staff was very accommodating and interested in what we were doing. And they made themselves available to be a help to us. And what we would be doing, therefore, as a result of that meeting, we targeted a date, and it would be July 24th. It'll be on a Sunday from 10 to 12:30, and we will have a health seminar that'll last maybe 45 minutes, and I'll do that because that's just one of the things I've done for years. But at the same time, they will simultaneously have their mobile clinic parked on our lot, and we are promoting to the community in West Jackson and beyond to come and get your preventive screening, which dovetails into what our conversation has been about up until now. Mm-hmm. We're asking people that we're not here just on this medium talking about it. We're saying here's a mechanism, at least for our local people, to be able to partake of some of these preventive services. And Dr. Chapman assured me that everybody, they will have a way to take care of everybody one way or another, regardless of their ability to pay. And they will explore, even if you don't have any insurance, they will help you explore your qualifications for what you may not even know that you're qualified for. So that's, again, the heart of that clinic is a servant's heart toward the Mississippi community that I think more people need to know about and take advantage of. And we're just proud to be partners with them for this particular event.
Okay, great. Well, what people may not understand, we're talking about your physical body, but also there's also value in quality oral health care and also quality mental health care. We know we're starting to see that for the last 2.5-3 years since the onslaught of COVID, that mental health has really become an issue in a lot of communities.
Right, and I'm glad you said that because that helps me to round out what services Jackson Hines are providing. You know, I'm not promoting our church for this. We don't do that, you know, but we serve as facilitators, as if you will, to help people get services that they need. That's how I see our role with respect to the community that we are serving in, to bring the gospel, to care for people, and also show them where certain services are, or bring the services to the community. And mental health services, that's one of the services that they offer. as well as dental services. Those two points that you made mention of. And so that's quite a blessing and a benefit for a community to be able to get these kind of services. Most of my career actually has been spent in emergency rooms. That's probably 70 to 80% of my time has been spent over years in emergency rooms. So I get to see, really kind of unfortunately, what patients look like when they don't get preventive health care, or when they're not tied to a primary care physician, or when they're using the emergency room as their primary source of health care. And that's not the best way to get this done. You see people with abscesses in their teeth, their gums, faces swollen. Well, this could have been prevented if they had had proper dental care all along the way. The old saying that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Well, there's some truth to that. There's a lot of suffering that happens when a problem is not prevented, which we alluded to earlier. When a cancer is not caught at the time that it's the size of a little pea, is a real misery when it becomes spread over the entire body and one's life is shortened. But every aspect of healthcare and health and disease kind of work that way.
Okay, well, y'all, we would love for you to join in on the conversation. You can call us at 800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. Okay, well, what we do know is you mentioned that going to the emergency room, using the emergency room as your primary health care, and yesterday we talked about the cost of that. It's on the average cost of an emergency room visit, just by going to see that, just going to the emergency rooms, is right around $1,000.
Yeah, right.
And that's a very expensive cost compared to if you didn't have insurance, going to an urgent care, it may cost you $100. But there are places such as the federally funded Jackson Hines, and there are these clinics are throughout the nation, I'm sure, because they're subsidized by the federal government.
Right.
They tend to work on a sliding scale. So that's real good for someone who has no insurance. Of course, they will take you if you have insurance, Medicaid, ACA, or none at all. So really what we're trying to do is we're trying to whittle down the excuses that people have for not going to the doctor, because quality of life is affected when you don't take care of yourself.
Right.
So.
Right. Whittle down the excuses for people not going to the doctors. That's an interesting statement. That's a good statement. Because what we hear so often is access. African American people don't have access, unequal access. It doesn't have to be as unequal as we say that it is. And we are showing you some of the reasons, some of the avenues that inequity. That's another a phrase we hear a lot in today in the health arena. Equity. Well, I will tell you this. That's one of Dr. Chapman's mission statements. She said, quote unquote, that before I retire, I want to do something to improve the equity in medicine. So there is some inequities and there is some access issues, but I'm saying that there's more access than we may think there is, and that's one of the things that we're talking about today.
Okay, well, what led you to come to the West Jackson area, and then on top of that, out seeing and talking to and being active in the community, there was a lot that you have seen. You've even started a community garden for the community if they desire to come get some vegetables. Am I correct?
Yeah, we did. I enjoy doing it, but it's labor. It's a lot of work. But But the Bible said that it was by the sweat of our brows. It was by the sweat of Adam's brow that he was to produce food. So in other words, there's some good exercise in it too. But yeah, I would love to have that expanded and have the community to really get their hands in the dirt and take part of growing their own food, growing vegetables, because ultimately, you asked one question, I'm going in this direction with that answer. As it relates to health and eating, you want to eat live foods as opposed to processed foods. Potato chips, fast foods, and candies and cookies and da-da-da-da. That kind of stuff. You want to eat live foods rather than foods that have been cooked and processed and raised and with fertilizers and pesticides and all of that kind of processing of foods takes the quality, a large portion of the quality of those nutrients out of foods. And the beauty of gardening is that I don't use any pesticides and I don't use any fertilizers. And right now it's cucumber season, so we're enjoying a lot of cucumbers now, and they don't have a drop of pesticides or fertilizer on it or in them, and I would love to expand that so that the community would take a larger hand in that. But what got me to West Jackson, when it was time for us to make our next move, it was a church that was empty, the church that we're in now. And there was a particular person from that community that was coming to our previous location. He showed me the church and said, "Pastor, I think you ought to buy that church." And I thought it was being ridiculous, but then something got in my heart. It really did. And I found myself, when I got off my shift, I would deliberately drive through that community, and I didn't have to. It would have been shorter to go in another way.
Right.
And it got deep and deep in my heart. Then there was time when it was time to make that change. That was the church that I ended up looking for. And as you know the story, the real estate individual that was handling that church, he literally said that he showed that church to 70 different people. 70, and that blows my mind. It's even hard to believe, but he said it, and he said it more than one time. And the deal always fell through. But when I came along and we went after the church, we didn't have a lot of difficulty getting the church and renovating the church.
Oh, right.
After 70 people couldn't get it. So I take that to mean that God wanted us there. And until God says move, I feel compelled to be there.
Are you glad you're there?
I'm satisfied. I'm glad
All right.
I'm there. I'm glad, and I have a great deal of confidence that God is not finished with the work there.
All right. Well, we have you have another minute and a half to kind of share with us what's going on the 24th of July, and all are invited.
Right. Yeah, the 24th of July is our summer community health fair that we are partnering with Jackson Hines. I mentioned a bit earlier, but what it would look like is that we will have our church service, but I won't preach a traditional message. Right now, I'm doing a message. I'm doing a series called How to Overcome Temptation. But if I'm still on that series, I'll halt it for that day, because for that will be a health and wellness day.
Okay.
And I'll teach Living in a Balance. That'll be my title, Living in Balance. And that's what gaining your health, protecting your health, and taking charge of your health amounts to. Living in balance, what you choose to eat and what you choose not to eat, etc., and all of the factors that goes into being well. So there are some factors, there are some principles that I'll want to emphasize. I won't have much time, but I'll emphasize principles such as detoxification. We live in a very toxic world. From time to time, you need to detoxify your system. We talk about going to the heart of the matter. Really, it's a matter of going to the gut of the matter. We need to talk about how we need to protect our guts. And there's a concept called leaky gut syndrome. A lot of diseases come out of leaky leaky gut, and most people that may have it may not know you have it. But if you're dealing with issues of bloating, constipation, diarrhea, fatigue, chronic fatigue, indigestion, food, heartburn, you probably got a leaky gut going on that needs to be repaired. We'll talk about the importance of water, exercise, and those kind of certain supplements for certain things. So it's a holistic approach to helping people take charge of their health at very little cost. And I always said, medicine. I'm a doctor. I made my living prescribing medicine and doing medicine, but I haven't seen many medicines that healed anybody. Yeah. It helps us to get along. It helps us to be in less pain, or it helps us to just kind of make it through. Sometimes when our systems are deeply damaged, that's about best that standard medicine can do for us. Now, there are some cures when it comes to infections. We got antibiotics that can cure. When it comes to an infected gallbladder, the surgeon can take it out. There are some things that's definitive. Most things are just supportive. You can't cure blood pressure with blood pressure medicine. You can't cure diabetes with insulin or diabetic pills, and so on. They're talking about now a few cancer cures. But for the most part, if there are going to be any healing, truly healings, it's going to be by God's miraculously healing you, or the body itself being restored, regenerating the cells by putting healthy nutrients, healthy building material in it, and allowing the body to heal from the inside out. So that's kind of the direction I'll go.
Okay. Let me ask you one other question, and then we're done for today. Who's invited to this?
Everyone. Everyone's invited. Everyone is encouraged to come. It would bless my heart if the building is full, because I know the more people that are there, the more people that will benefit, and the more people will benefit, the more other people they'll tell how to help themselves. And that's our mission, to help as many people as we can, spiritually, physically, emotionally, and in every other way possible that human beings need to be helped.
Okay, and where's it located at? Where's it going to be at?
It'll be at our church, and we're located in West Jackson at 328 on Bowling Street. 328 Bowling Street.
Okay, yeah. And the time?
The time is from 10 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. So there's just a 2.5 hour window. Share this news with people that you know, even if you don't plan to be there, but you know someone's sick in their bodies. Now, who should be there? I say everybody, but especially people that are sick. Especially people that are sick. Mm-hmm. And if the Holy Spirit leads to have a healing line, we will pray for healing. But even praying for healing, we still want you to use the natural information that you'll get. Glory to God. We've seen healings in our church.
That's correct.
And so,
absolutely.
I embrace everything that God releases to us.
Okay, well, our time is well spent, and our show is about up. Remember, you can reach us at 800-492-5186. That's 1-800-492-5186. You can view us on Roku TV. You can view us on Facebook and YouTube. You can pull up this at any time and go back over it and reach out to us. You can reach me at Ayers Insurance Group. DennisAyers.org is the website. Visit the website, or you can reach out to me at Facebook, Dennis Ayers, Senior Healthcare Advisor. Hit the like sign on the Facebook page and on the YouTube. If we accept donations, and hit donate on WeBelieveDigital.com. And we will see you next week. We want to thank you. Our time is well spent. And don't forget what I always say, if you want to change, if you want to have a healthier outcome, then at some point you're going to have to take a look at and change those habits. Thank you very much, and God bless each and every one of you.
The Mississippi Link is an African American female-owned newspaper with a trusted voice that is highly respected throughout the city, state, and nation. Our motto, keepers of the knowledge for people who speak the truth, since 1993. Link significantly influences the thoughts, attitudes, and buying decisions of its readers. Call us at 601-368-8481 for your advertising needs. If you would like to receive a newspaper in the mail each week, our annual subscription is only $52 per year. That is only $1 per week for you to stay informed regarding many stories that you can only get in the Mississippi Link. Sign up today at themississippiLink.com